very pleased to hear that Mother Yasoda had again given birth to a son. And they began to decorate themselves very nicely with proper dresses, ornaments, black ointment for the eyes, kajal, and so on. Their lotus-like faces extraordinarily beautiful, being decorated with saffron and newly grown kumkum. The wives of the coward men hurried to the house of Mother Yasoda with presentations in their hands. Because of natural beauty, the wives had full hips and full breasts, which moved as they hurried along. In the ears of the gopis were brilliantly polished jeweled earrings, and from their necks hung metal lockets. Their hands were decorated with bangles, their dresses of varied colors, and from their hair flowers fell onto the street like showers. Thus, while going to the house of Nanda Maharaj, the gopis, their earrings, breasts, and garlands moving, were brilliantly beautiful. Offering blessings to the newborn child, Krishna, the wives and daughters of the coward men said, "May you become the king of Braj and long maintain all its inhabitants." They sprinkled a mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the birthless Supreme Lord and offered their prayers. Now that the all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Maharaj Nanda, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival. In gladness, the cowherdsmen enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with mixtures of curd, condensed milk, butter, and water. They threw butter on one another and smeared it on each other's bodies. Prabhupada writes in the purport, "From this statement we can understand that 5,000 years ago, not only was there enough milk, butter, and curd to eat, drink, and cook with, but when there was a festival, it would be thrown without restriction." Huh? The great-minded Maharaj Nanda gave clothing, ornaments, and cows in charity to the coward men in order to please Lord Vishnu. He didn't know that his son was Lord Vishnu. And thus he improved the condition of his own son. He worshipped Lord Vishnu. He had a Narayan Shila that he worshipped as Lord Vishnu for the protection and welfare of his little son. He distributed charity to the Suttas, the Magadas, the Vandis, and men of all other professions, according to their educational qualifications, and satisfied everyone's desires. The most fortunate Rohini, the mother of Baladev, was honored by Nanda Maharaj and Jashoda. And thus, she also dressed gorgeously and decorated herself with a necklace, a garland, and other ornaments. She was busy wandering here and there to receive the women who were the guests at the festival. O Maharaj Pariksit, the home of Nanda Maharaj is eternally the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his transcendental qualities, and is therefore always naturally endowed with the opulence of all wealth. Yet, beginning from Lord Krishna's appearance there, it became a place for the pastimes of the goddess of fortune. Sukadeva Goswami continued, "Therefore, my dear King Pariksit, O best protector of the Kuru dynasty, Maharaj Nanda appointed the local cowherd men to protect Gokul, and then went to Mathura to pay his yearly taxes to King Kamsa." That's the end. Sri Nandotsava ki jai. And on this very auspicious day, Krishna sent his associate, Radharani sent her associate, Srila Prabhupada, to this earth to fill us with his merciful moods, his glances, his activities, his lectures, his books, his so many instructions, is changing the planet, actually. So this is a Mahotsav, Maha-Utsav, a grand festival. Well, there's Nanda Maharaj putting butter on everybody. Can you turn that around? There he is, Nanda Maharaj putting butter on everybody. Right here we have Nadostava. So, the best thing is if I would be a pure devotee and all the remembrances of Prabhupada or anything that I'm going to give a class on would just come to me as I'm speaking and I wouldn't have to prepare. But that's not the case, so I generally prepare for a class. And usually I'm happy. I would be more happy if I didn't have to, if it just flooded. But second happiness is that I'm usually happy to prepare because it's good subject matter. But today, or even though it's a Mahotsav day, today I was dying millions of deaths as I was preparing for this class. Because I made the decision, before I started looking up my memoirs that I had typed out long ago, I decided to give a talk mostly on Prabhupada's chastisements of me. And then I was sorry I did choose that topic. So I'm not sure I'm going to go in order because I may forget things and then come back to it later. In the beginning, his chastisements were okay. That is, Prabhupada had invited me to paint in his quarters. First, I was painting in the 26 Second Avenue Temple Room downstairs. And then when I was almost finished with the first painting, which was a copy of the Sankirtan print that he gave me, and that Sankirtan print is in your German book. Which book is that, Kanayalal Prabhu?
It is Chaitanya Shikshamritam.
Chaitanya Shikshamritam, translated into German from the Hindi, Gurudev's Hindi. And there's the original picture. Of course, it's a lot smaller. The original picture that Prabhupada gave me to copy, big oil paint. So when the picture was almost finished, my copy was so bad. Some people didn't have feet connected to their bodies. Yeah. Everybody was out of proportion. This is gorgeous. But in mine, everybody was out of proportion. This one here, Mukunda, Prabhupada told me who everybody was. Like this is Haridas Thakur, this is Mukunda, this is Mukunda.
Wait, start over.
Yeah, this is Haridas Thakur, Mukunda's sons, of course Gadadhar, Nityananda, Srivas, and Advaita Acharya. I don't know, he didn't say who he was, or I don't remember. So, in mine, Mukunda had a top part of the body, but then I didn't put the bottom part in. It was terrible. And his head I just had flying in the air without a body. So, when I was almost finished with the painting,
because we just saw it recently.
Yeah, we just saw it recently. And,
you can tell the frame.
Oh yeah, right. We just saw it recently, that original, when we were in Alachua a month ago. And so when I was almost finished with it, Prabhupada came down to the temple room, and just like with Gurudev, as soon as he's anywhere, there's tons of people around him. So that's what happened with Prabhupada. And he looked at the painting, and he could easily have said, "Where's the legs? It looks terrible, it's all out of proportion." But instead, he said, "Krishna has sent." Isn't that amazing, like Krishna sent me? You know, just coming out of drugged out hippiedom. So then he invited me to paint in his quarters, and I told him, well, I hesitate to, although it was blissful to get that invitation, because the paints are so toxic, the oil paints. So he said it doesn't matter. So then I began painting in his quarters, and can everybody understand my English? I'm not going too fast? Okay. So then when I was in his quarters, I went to the lumber yard to get frames. And in those days I used to use 1/4-inch plywood. And then I would paint it a certain color. And Prabhupada himself helped me to nail on the frames onto the canvas. Not with a hammer, but with a pestle for grinding spices. And then one night, I stupidly left a bunch of nails from the hammering on the floor. And then when I came in the next day from my parents' house, Prabhupada said to me in a very even, soft voice, "Please be careful with the nails, because I stepped on one. I wanted to die." Then,
but I mean, those days you would know, like, who Prabhupada is, that you would die, you know? I mean, you know what I mean? You had already that.
We had that much. I didn't know exactly who he was, but he was my spiritual master.
But for how long then?
I was a few months.
Few months, and you already know, like, who he is, you know?
Well, he gave so many lectures about who the spiritual master is.
Are you going to tell them what the Mridanga?
Mridanga? Yeah, I will do that. When I was almost finished with a painting of Lord Nrsingadev, he had given me a little, like 2-inch little picture to copy of Lord Nrsingadev ripping apart Hiranyakashipu. And I was almost finished with that. I wanted to paint an Indian carpet, but the one in the little 2-inch picture was too small. So I remember that there was a picture of Sitaram, Hanuman, and Lakshman just over Prabhupada's head and to the side in his room, which was the next room from where I was painting. So I went in there and I was kind of like jumping up, trying to see the picture on the wall. But I didn't go close to the wall because his bed was there, his bedding. He didn't have a bed. He just had some cloths, some mats that he slept on. So here's Prabhupada, here was I, and I was kind of like jumping up and down to see this picture. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to see the picture so I could see the rug, but I don't want to step on your bed." So he said, "In Krishna's service, you can step on my head."